I don't tell anybody, I don't
Yes.
remember anything.
Recording in progress.
We're good to go.
Okay, we're ready to go. All right, welcome to Improvement and Services Committee.
That'll happen a lot, trust me.
Today is what, October 26th. Roll call. Alder Stoyer, I'm here. Alder Weary.
Here.
Alder Eck.
Here.
Alder Campbell.
Here.
All present and unaccounted for. I need a approval for the agenda.
Move to.
Motion by Eck.
Second.
Seconded by Campbell. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that passes unanimously. Approval of the minutes, same thing.
Move to approve it.
Moved by Weary,
Second.
seconded by Eck. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, that passes unanimously. Under regular business, number 1, consideration with possible action on a request by Paul Neja, 1064 Roscoe Street for unrestricted on-street parking allowances due to unique family circumstances and limited off-street parking options for the remainder of 2022 and all of 2023. Director.
And actually, I'm going to turn this over to Chris Pierlot.
Yeah, I spoke with Mr. Neja at length. He's got a single stall driveway. It's about 1.5 cars wide. It's not a double stall. I don't think there's space for it if I took a look at it. Single stall garage. It's a blended family from a second marriage. One of the older children is starting over. I don't know the whole story, but she's back home. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately in the bad sense of family being together, but and then there's a college age son that moves between houses from mom and dad, and they're just at an impasse for parking. Like I said, they have probably about 6 cars and they can't do 4. He's not asking for this every single night of the year, but like when the kids come from mom's house or whatever, he wants to be able to have a park there. Taking a look at it, I definitely empathize with them, and I'm the one who recommended. I said, it seems like a legitimate request. We're getting toward the end of the year, 2022. It's supposed to be requested annually, so I recommended let's put it on the agenda to request the remainder of 22 and all of 23. He said it's probably going to be all done by the end of 23, the family situation stuff, that he'll be back to not worrying about it. So based on, like I said, an extended conversation on several occasions, and I took a look at the site, I would recommend that we allow this.
Except winter, no dice, right?
Right, well, in the winter, he does understand that, I explained it to him, if there is a snow emergency, all bets are off for everybody in the city.
Okay. Any discussion? Otherwise, I'm entertain a motion. Anybody?
Motion to approve.
By Weary, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Eck. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Tell the family good luck for all of us. I was tired just listening to that. All right, number 2, consideration with possible action on request by Pat Dashner, 1705 Spence Street, to rescind charges for sidewalk replacement.
If
Should
I
I go
could,
to,
Mr. Dasher got called out of town for work today. He emailed me earlier, so if it's all right, I just wanted to hold it. I mean, unless you have like a motion to approve it right away.
Well,
He's not here to plead his case.
He emailed me last night and told me he was called out of town, and I asked him if he wanted to hold or proceed.
No?
He actually emailed me back and said, go ahead and proceed.
All right.
So,
Then by all means, let's have it.
Mr. Dashner sent in, well, actually, he had sent an email to Alder Weary, who forwarded it on to me, indicating that he had, Mr. Dashner had epoxied his sidewalks, the sidewalks that were in defect. He repaired using epoxy back in June when they got the letter on what were acceptable repairs, but he missed on the communication that the city sent out. He missed where it said that it had to be re-inspected by the city. After he went back and reviewed the letter, he did see where it's in the instructions that he has to notify the city so we can come out and do a re-inspection. Because he had not requested the re-inspection, the mark indicating replacement was still on the sidewalk when the sidewalk contractor got there, and the sidewalk contractor popped the panels out and replaced them. So we're talking about 200.5 square feet at 11 square feet. We're talking roughly $2,200 worth of sidewalk that was removed and replaced after he had repaired it.
So we don't know if sorry.
Yeah, okay.
We don't know if the repairs were acceptable because they didn't get rechecked.
Yeah, we never had a chance to look at them.
So he missed the letter, so to speak. I mean, it sounded like he
He had it.
According to the
missed
email.
that part.
he was doing things correctly, but he just didn't, he oversaw something, or he didn't see it.
Right.
What's your district?
Yeah, nothing to add.
What's your take?
Since he's not here. Can't
I haven't been on that portion of sidewalk after or before, so I don't know if it was repaired to the standards or not.
It's right down the block from there.
Yeah, it's stuck about a couple blocks. I mean, obviously it's my decision to prove it, but but if everybody just came in and said, hey, I had these repaired before I pulled them out, okay, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. That poses a bit of a conundrum there, so
Well,
I'd like to hear from the rest of the committee and see both here.
Is the amount 500 or the 2,200?
About $2,200.
Okay,
So what is he saying? I'd like to avoid a $500 bill for misunderstanding.
500 plus.
Maybe he
100
didn't know how
plus.
much he was gonna be billing.
But it's 2,200.
I don't know that he knew the exact dollar amount. He's,
He just
Oh.
put down.
I think he's guesstimating low.
So how big of an area was it? How many sidewalk squares?
At 200,
Yeah.
that had to have been roughly 40 feet long, so that
5
was
by
8
5.
panels, give or take.
5 by 5, right?
40 feet, 8 panels.
25
So
cubic
20
feet, or 25 square feet to a panel.
Yes.
And what does it cost per panel roughly again?
Well, it's $11 a square foot.
25 square feet, $250 a piece.
I actually got called today on that. So is it 250 per
5 by 5.
cake or whatever they call
A
it?
cake.
Under this year's contract, the cost for, and forgive me, I don't like the term cake.
Okay.
That's what the guy said today when he called
Sorry.
me.
I prefer panel, $275 per panel roughly.
Hard to
That's
put a
this
axe
year's
on it.
contract.
Yes.
So no food. Do not describe it as food.
He said, hard to put a hacksaw on that cake.
All the word.
Thanks. Did you have any other residents calling in with the same type of situation? Can't be a loner one. Maybe it was.
Some unusual things.
We have, I don't know that anybody has appealed. When we've, I know I had a couple over in the Preble area, down Skyline, Jamesford, so south, immediately due south of the high school, off of Skyline Boulevard, where the power line goes through, in that generalized area. And what we, well, hey, I fixed this, and why are you guys out here removing it? And I actually went out and met at least 2 people in the field to discuss it. And the first question I asked them was, did you get the letter, the packet of information relative to the repairs from the city? And yes, I was informed, yes, we did. That's how we knew what repair would be acceptable. And do you still have the letter? And they went in and got the letter, and
Sure enough.
right here, you're supposed to, oh, I didn't read that part. And in those 2 cases, I guess I missed it, and
Is there a way to highlight that? Like in yellow or something? I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it almost seems like we've had a few problems telling. If not,
we can. I will tell you, this is the 3rd year that we've put together a pretty extensive packet, and we refine it every year.
okay.
I'm going to tell you, $2,200 is not going to break the city, okay? I'll be honest with you about that right now. The reason I didn't act on this, and I'm bringing it to the committee, is because we have spent probably close to 200 hours of staff time over the last 3 years developing these educational materials. we have made them as plain language and easy to follow as we can. So I can see the residents' concern. I can see where somebody didn't read through the whole thing or missed something and, okay, a mistake got made. But they had all the information they needed. So I can't make that decision because I would be biased and I don't want that. So I'm going to give it to you to make a more impartial
Thank you.
decision.
Yeah, thanks.
But if it's pink, okay, so my understanding is that did they get that pink marking on there, which meant this is going to be replaced?
No, it's a white X.
The White House.
Well, my friend called me, I say friend, so somebody in my district, I do know, you know, as a personal, but she said they came out and put pink marks, which meant it's coming, they're gonna be replacing. They're
So
really-
it's
And I went out
utility
there,
work?
Sounds like there's been white paint.
It shouldn't have been pink unless,
well, I went out there and I saw it, and it was pink. But then you went out there, they had done the work themselves. If you remember,
I remember you called me, yes.
Chateau, I think, yeah, which then they were allowed to keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pink, that's what I thought.
No, it shouldn't be pink, it should be
Weird.
white. And we block out the X if somebody's completed the repairs properly.
And I've seen those, they had things, so, okay.
I guess my question would be, I mean, first of all, you say it's not gonna kill us, but at the same time, I mean, were the people gone on vacation, they didn't see the guy out there starting to take the sidewalk out? I mean, it just seems kind of a odd story, you know? Between that and, it just seems kind of weird, the timing of it all, and, I mean,
Well-
what do you think, there's a week in there, a day, or what? I mean,
Well, it's
hard to
not
make a decision how
inconceivable
close
that
was
the
it?
sidewalk contractor came in there, cut the panels, and removed them in one day.
Yeah,
So if he's at work, and it happens while he's at work, he comes home and all of a sudden the panels are gone.
Well, Alderberg, I know I said it's your district. I know in the past, we've looked at some of these, and every situation's different. Sometimes we've split the cost, things on that order. We've done that in the past.
I think that's reasonable.
It's a possibility. That would be one thought, to split the difference. But anybody else in the committee?
throw that out as a proposal then, or?
I'm throwing that out to the committee, to split
Oh.
it.
I mean, so we have to decide that?
No.
We have to propose
For
that to
discussion.
him?
Yeah.
It would be whatever.
It's a
they
discussion.
decide. Yeah.
Dis-
Or the city,
discussion.
or the city,
Yeah.
one of the other parties? So we got two parties here, right? City and the,
City and the-
He-
Yes.
Basically.
We're deciding here.
You could
Split it
decide
between
now.
the city
all
and
up
the
up in
citizen.
between.
Because Steve doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's not,
Well, that's what he just said.
yeah.
And just in my, and as you said, my history of doing this, a lot of times you split the difference. I've seen that so many times in 20 years.
You know, and
split
it's
the difference
not,
'cause
you're not
quite
right.
sure, so you're like.
We're
you
all
know
right,
what?
we're all wrong.
You're making a good faith effort to show up. I can tell you, never had any issues with this gentleman, ever, of any kind. So, for what it's worth, I don't smell any treachery there of any kind.
Well, it looks like he tried, I mean, if I'm reading this letter, it says he called the hotline to let him know.
Yeah.
He didn't receive a call back. Until
Like I
it was-
said,
I think
you
he
get-
called too late.
The
Say
staff
it's
has
too
put
late.
together a big effort to put educational materials together, so I believe the staff on that as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, ignorance is no excuse, right? I mean, we all get a lot of mail, and it's like, whoops.
I had the same thing with, you know, with a development coming and, oh, we never saw the letter, and then now, you know, now it's too late, it's happening.
Yes,
So,
right. Well, does,
Makes it hard.
Alder, you want to throw that out?
I'm open to listen to the committee. I mean, it's my district, so I'll put, split the difference, you know.
Make that a motion.
Whatever half the cost is, I would make that motion.
Okay, motion by Worre to split the cost between the city and the individual. Do we have a second?
second.
Second by Campbell. Is there any other discussion? We can all vote, you know, we will all vote on this too, so yea or nay. So all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, all opposed?
I said it's-
Okay, is that unanimous?
Okay.
So
I
no
just,
one
I
says
don't
the
want to
same.
set a precedence either, but,
No,
you know.
so, all right. That
Do we have
passed.
very many of these?
This
I haven't
is the
seen too
first
many.
one that we had this year.
Okay.
And everyone's a case-by-case basis.
Like trees that get cut down.
I know
Yeah, well.
That's true.
Oh. All right, that passes unanimously. All right, and this all goes to city council next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. This is just advisory for that. All right, number 3, consideration with possible action on an amendment to the professional services contract with Majeski and Masters for the on-site investigation and troubleshooting of center lock mechanisms of the Main Street Bridge over the Fox River, B-5-311, in the amount of $10,070. Staff.
So Medeski and Masters is the engineering firm that we've retained to assist us with the design of repairs to the Main Street Rainy Tree Memorial Bridge. For those of you who've been on the committee for a while, you know we have been proposing some pretty expensive hydraulic repairs to that bridge. So what we did was we got M&M on board, and we're kind of breaking it out into smaller pieces so it's something we can afford a year at a time as we're doing it. And as we're getting into some of the design and repair issues, we're finding little things that need to be tweaked as well. So in this case, we had part of the contract earlier this year was for balance of the bridge to make sure that it's getting to its proper down position. And when the bridge comes down, there are a series of 6 pins. There's one at the tail on both the north and south side of each leaf, and then there's also center locks where the pin drives through both leaves in the down position, one north, one south. The center locks weren't aligning, and this is actually related to the replacement of the pins, the center lock pins. These things are like 6 by 12 solid steel.
They're missing, but
Bigger?
Yeah, they're about 24 tall by about 12
Okay,
wide.
so this is a huge chunk of steel that slides into a keyway, like an old-fashioned door lock, okay? And helps keep the bridge from flexing while it's in its down position. So there were some issues. We replaced the pins themselves. They had gotten grooved on the top from bridge vibration over the last 25 years of operation. We replaced the pins, and you can't just go to Home Depot and buy these pins, okay? They're specialized pieces of equipment, and there's not parts on the shelf for a lot of the stuff that's in that bridge. So there were some modifications to the center locks that we had to do to accommodate current part inventory and things of that nature. So there was some investigation and troubleshooting in order to get everything to line back up and reassemble it. So M&M is requesting a change order to their design services in the amount of $10,070, and staff does support that request.
all direct?
I thought that the Main Street Bridge was county.
No,
No?
The
city.
Bart Starr Bridge on Walnut Street and the Don A. Tillman Memorial Bridge at Mason Street are both owned by the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
Okay.
Main Street Bridge is owned by City of Green Bay. They are linked together fiber optically, so there is a single bridge tender at Starr, and that bridge tender can remotely operate the other 2 bridges. And the county, being the maintenance arm of WISDOT, the county is the one that supplies the bridge tender, so that's the county's involvement, but this is our bridge.
Okay. That must be where I had heard the county was
How
in
far
charge
was
of.
it missing? As far as, was it off that much?
No, you're talking fractions of an inch,
Fractions of an inch.
but
That's
one of
enough.
the things that's, people tend to look at Nitschke and say that it's a problem bridge. It's not that it's a problem bridge, it's functioning the way it's supposed to. If things aren't correctly lined up and the drive motor for the center lock is trying to drive the pin into a hole that's not properly aligned, that back pressure on the motor gets interpreted as there's something wrong here and it shuts down. Okay, it shuts down, now we gotta go figure out what happened. Okay, it's off alignment, we gotta get the alignment back in.
Big hammer.
It's a problem, it's a problem with your bridge. No, it's not a problem with the bridge. The bridge is trying not to hurt itself. It's
How
not
often
trying
does
to
that
force that pin into a hole where
Has
it's
that
not
happened a
supposed
few
to.
times? A couple of
There's a
times?
number of little things that
Like
pop
that?
up here and there.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Motion by X, seconded by
After all
Uri.
that, right?
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Just-
Aye.
Aye.
That passes unanimously.
Oh, it's gotta be done.
All right. Where are we at? Number 4. Guys ready? Number 4, consideration with possible action on the acquisition of a water main easement along the north side of Finger Road, east of Grandview Road from Car Green Bay, WI LLC, Carnivore Meat. Staff.
Okay, in the information, supplemental information I handed out to you tonight, there is a document that says Exhibit A continued on the top of it.
Yes.
So what you're seeing is South Grandview Road runs north-south along the left side of that exhibit. East Mason Street kind of makes an S-curve through there. And where you see existing 12-foot utility easement in Mason Street, immediately to the west of that, Finger Road makes a cul-de-sac. Okay, Finger used to come straight through. When we extended East Mason Street out a couple of years ago, we cut Finger off and made the cul-de-sac.
Cut Finger off.
That sounds fun.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, that was quite by accident. When
He cut the middle finger off.
This is the Band-Aid.
Sorry.
I think Alder
Okay.
Scannell would be proud.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we are too.
So, parcel 21-22 is where the new carnivore project is being built. And in order to supply water to them, we have to come back from the west at the corner of Grandview and Finger Road, and we have to come back and install the new water main. There's actually plenty of water underneath Finger Road. Unfortunately, it happens to be the twin 36-inch mains coming in from the filter plant, so you don't exactly tap those.
No.
And that's the reason. We have the twin 36s in it. There's a lot of stuff under Finger Road right now. So we want to put the distribution main as opposed to a transmission main. We want to put the distribution main on the north side of the road, but there's not enough room up there to do that. So what we're doing is simply acquiring that water utility easement that's shown at 17 feet. And that'll provide a permanent home for the distribution main. And that distribution main ultimately will continue on to the east city limits to serve the new industrial park. And Carnivore is in support of this. This is their source of water.
Right.
So,
Is it?
Questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I see on the second page, there was something about $54,000. Is this gonna cost the city money?
the second
Good.
page.
That's
The
a
memo?
different
That's,
Oh, I
that's a
just wanna
completely
make sure I'm
different,
not-
that's a different.
That was a different item, okay, all
Yep.
right, I was just trying to be,
Well, no, that's.
getting all the information. So it's
Yeah, so.
not gonna cost us money?
No, there is no
Just
cost
easement.
associated with this. This is just an easement.
Move to approve.
Okay,
Motion
sorry.
by Worry to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Campbell. Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, number 5, consideration with possible action on a request by the Department of Public Works to award a contract for the development of a citywide green stormwater infrastructure plan to Stormwater Solutions Engineering in the amount of $133,000, $133,370. Staff, and I know that Melissa's here.
And
as
this,
well.
we are going to turn over to the resiliency coordinator, Melissa Schmitz.
Okay,
Hey,
so I provided some background
Oh,
information.
Melissa, why don't you come up?
Otherwise, you're not gonna see
I
it.
know. I mean, you almost got away with it.
You're on TV now.
Yeah,
We should
Okay.
actually
We got
turn
your
that
back.
that way.
Okay,
go ahead.
so the background to this item is in February, earlier this year, during Common Council meeting, staff was directed to develop a citywide green stormwater infrastructure plan. And to meet this request, our department developed an RFP to solicit proposals from consultants to prepare a GSI plan for the city of Green Bay. The plan will be critical strategy in the city's flood resiliency planning And the plan will identify projects and make recommendations for integrating green stormwater infrastructure into public and private properties to reduce localized flooding, increasing green space in our neighborhoods, and improving water quality. The RFP period closed September 30th, and we received 4 proposals, which are in your packets. We assembled a review team from staff to evaluate and score those proposals and the evaluation was based on several criteria, including the firm's technical expertise and experience with providing innovative, sustainable, and cost-effective green stormwater GSI solutions, the credentials of their team, and the understanding of the task requirements, the ability of the engineering firm to complete the plan in a timely manner, 9 to 10 months, and other criteria, overall quality and completeness of their submittal, and cost of services. We expect from the time a contract is executed that the project should take 9 months. And our recommendation is to award the contract to Stormwater Solutions Engineering, and it's in the amount of $133,000 and $133,370. The cost is being allocated through contractual services through the stormwater utility budget.
There's a lot of information here.
I know.
So in addition to the actual proposals, we provided you a copy of the RFP 2 weeks ago at our last meeting. As part of the packet this time, Melissa provided you with full copies of the proposals that we received. In addition to that, part of the packet is the scoring matrix that was used by staff and the scores that the reviewers assigned to it. All the proposals we received were good. Melissa went out to 12 firms. We only got 4 responses back, but the 4 we got were very strong proposals. We have worked with many of the firms on this list in the past. SSE and REL, Stormwater Solutions Engineering out of Milwaukee, very, very talented, very capable firm to do this kind of work, and then having Robert E. Lee and Associates working with them as a local presence and REL's knowledge of city process, we think this makes it a very strong team that will be able to put together a good plan for the city to move forward.
Alderette?
So I remember there was that presentation of different areas that had more problems with flooding than others. Is that being taken into consideration for this plan?
Are you referring to the presentation that I did with 2 other people at
Yes.
City Council?
Yeah.
Yes, so part of the strategy is, it's community-wide, and we'll be looking at public and private properties, but they'll need to prioritize areas based on the areas of the city that do experience flooding. So they'll be working very closely with me and other staff with some of the existing information that we already have. So it's not like it's hands-off and they just do the project. So yes, that will be taken into consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else on the committee?
No, I looked at it all and I looked at their website. I'm looking at it again here, and they seem very businesslike and straightforward, and it seems like they know what they're doing. It's good.
I'm just happy that we got 4 different firms.
Yeah.
We've been struggling a little bit lately to get, firms coming in on anything. So that's really good. Alder Campbell, you're right? You're frowning.
No, I'm not frowning.
Okay. All right, committee?
Motion to approve?
Motion by Eck
Second.
to approve, second by Worry. All in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, I didn't mean to frown. Sorry.
Sure.
I'll put my glasses on.
Hey,
I gotta work on that. All right, number
6.
6. All right, consideration with possible action on request by Department of Public Works to award a contract for 2023 design services for Burner Street reconstruction from North Irwin to North Webster. It's your
Okay.
staff.
As the department has risen to the challenge that council has given us to increase the amount of roads we're working on, one of the things I have identified to you in the past is staff is currently working at their max capacity, so we have been forced to contract out to consultant engineering firms to assist us with design engineering on some of our road projects. So Burner Street is one that was selected. That's the memo that was the second page in the handout that I gave you tonight. We did go out to 11 local firms. We got 3 proposals back. One was the lowest scoring firm, so they were eliminated from consideration. JT Engineering and Rupert Milky actually came out when the staff did the internal scoring on it, they actually came out tied, exact same score on a proposal basis. So then the staff went and looked at project completion date and compensation. And the combination of project completion date and compensation pushed JT ahead. So staff is recommending awarding a design contract to JT Engineering in the amount of $54,475.
Sounds good. Does this mean we're doing more road work next year than this year?
We're definitely pushing for that. Part of that's going to be dependent upon getting the CIP.
It's all based on dollar values, right?
What's that?
It's all based on dollar values.
And this is in the budget.
This is actually comes out of our capital program.
Okay,
So it comes out of our capital plan.
all right.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Campbell, do we have a
Second.
second by Weary? Any other discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all
Road
opposed?
work, road work,
Yeah.
road work, road work.
Wheel tax.
You'll
Wheel
start
tax.
singing. Calm down,
Road
calm down,
road
everybody. All right, informational director's report on recent activities.
The only thing that I wanted to bring to your attention tonight was we did start fall loose leaf collection this week. So staff is actively engaged with that effort, and we do expect that to go on. Again, the formal program ends the week of Thanksgiving. And what that means is if you have your leaves out to the curb prior to that Sunday, the Sunday prior to Thanksgiving, we will guarantee that we'll pick them up, but there are no guarantees after that. If weather permits and allows us to continue leaf collection after Thanksgiving, we will do that until we can't. But it's done with significantly reduced forces because we can't use the dump trucks, we can't use the loaders, we can't use the tractors very much. Those things have to be converted. It takes about 3 weeks from the time we start to convert the fleet from summer to winter. And we can't get caught not ready to plow. The leaves will be there in the spring, but if we don't plow it, it's going to be stuck to the road, and we're going to have to deal with the ice and the adhered precipitation until we get suitable weather conditions to melt it back off. So we've got to be ready for winter operations following Thanksgiving. But we have our old rear load garbage trucks. If you've seen those running around, there's a big assembly that tilts down off the back. That's what we refer to as our pans. So we can continue. Do we still have one back truck?
Pans.
I know, I was just
2 or
thinking
3
the
of
same
them,
thing.
2 for sure.
Cake pan.
So we have 2 vacuum capable trucks that we can suck up leaf piles with that aren't part of the winter fleet, and we've got the pans up. And to pair a tractor up with a pan is not that big a deal. We can swap that out. There's not a whole lot of hydraulics that go along with it, but the trucks, you got to put the spreader box in the back, you got to put the saddle tanks in there, you got to make sure everything's calibrated so that the liquid and the solids coming out work together. Hydraulic hoses fail due to dry rot. There's a whole lot that goes into the trucks and the heavy equipment, but the tractors that accompany the pans, we can continue to use those and swap those out relatively quickly. So we will do what we can after Thanksgiving, but we can't guarantee anything.
They can't guarantee the leaves won't fall off my 2 maple trees. They hang on right to the end. They hang
I
on.
would feel like that too.
Well, I'm
What
gonna
do you
have
do?
it.
I'm
So
asking.
Could we just-
the maples, I was taking my Christmas lights down in January,
They're still
and I was
on.
pulling the leaves off my oaks.
You're gonna need a snowplow at
Alders.
150 feet in front of mine just to get the leaves off.
Yeah,
That's how much it is.
that's a whole nother story. All right,
And
all
I think
right.
the street sweeper got stuck this morning.
I remember we voted on charging a fee for going out there so that would this kick in? If people keep
Over
putting
at
their
the,
stuff out, their leaves.
If you had to do it after the fact,
What's that?
is there a fee? Is that
The
what-
fee, the fee,
For
we
garbage
voted on a
collection
fee
outside
for
of-
going
Outside.
outside.
That was outside of these periods. There's
Right,
a
so
fall
is that
loose leaf
gonna
collection
kick in?
period and the spring yard waste collection period. Then we are doing curbside collection. The fee we enacted was any time of the year outside of those designated periods.
Right, so that will kick in for this
That would-
season.
Right,
For
After the
for
season's over.
After the season's over.
yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Yes.
like right away, it's done.
Well, no, if somebody's got leaves out on December 1st, we're not gonna hit them with a charge for that because if we can get to them, we're still gonna get to them.
Okay,
Might take a little longer.
If somebody's out there, if we get an early spring and somebody's out there the last week of February and suddenly they're putting their rake debris at the curb, then we're gonna impose it. But we guarantee we won't charge anybody during the published time fall loose leaf. But if folks are continuing to lease, continue to fall, they're putting them out and the weather's conducive for us to continue to pick them up, we'll extend that program, we just don't do it officially.
okay.
Just
All right.
remember, we're on Zoom now, so you're being watched.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
You heard it, folks.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
Steve, is that it?
That's it.
All right, next improvement and services meeting, November 30th.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Don't we get to ask
Oh,
any
you're
questions here?
right, you're right.
second,
Well, you
we can do it afterwards, whatever.
have a question? Yes?
They're being disruptive. and
Or do I have to
Mr.
put in
Chair.
something, I have to request to fix all the Eastman Avenue
Yeah.
streets by the railroad tracks, the
Talk-
patch holes?
Talk to him afterwards.
How do we go about that?
That's what I said to him.
Yeah, just talk afterwards.
Give me a call or send me an
Yeah.
email tomorrow.
All right, I'll get the addresses.
So we
I
have
seconded.
receive and place in file, seconded by
Second.
Eck. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Next meeting, INS, is November 30th. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Adjourned by Weary,
Second.
seconded by Eck. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for everything.
Thanks, folks, for coming.
Can we switch the date
That's
for the
pretty
next
good.
meeting?
For everything.
For everything. It covers
Be
everything.
healed up by then.
Well, it does.
It's my daughter's 18th birthday.
Oh,
Very-
recording